Hello, I'm Casey Kasem, and you're listening to the radio on Strong Island Radio. Here's your host, John Santo. Thank you so much for tuning into the radio. I'm here in the beautiful Strong Island Radio studios, and I have a special guest co-host this week, and that co-host is...
Jack Cloonan, special guest, not just regular guest.
Special guest. Did I say regular? Guest. Special guest.
You said special guest.
I did say special guest?
Yes, you did.
Good. Well, that's what it says. Good. So I read it right. Special guest, co-host, guest co-host. Special guest co-host is the right term.
Now you're getting a little carried away.
A little carried away.
Right.
Okay. Now, Jack was supposed to appear in a future episode. I had somebody else in this week's episode, but we were able to switch the two guest co-hosts for this week. And Jack?
Yes, that's true. The original guy dropped out today he had a personal reason. So he asked me about 7 minutes ago if I could make it.
No. He was the best we could get on short notice. No. Jack
Here he is, ladies and gentlemen, your co-host, the backup quarterback.
No, Jack was really going to appear. We talked about, I saw you at the gala Saturday night, the Lakers Saves Lives Gala Saturday, and I said, we'll get you in on a future week. I was going to have you on in December, which is next month, either next week or the following week, and then we had the scheduling change, and now you're here this week. So
now
I'm glad you're here this week. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving is coming up. We're also going to have, why don't you say who our special guest caller is today?
Our special guest caller is the one and only former world champion with the New York Mets in 1986, my good friend Ed Hearn.
And you want to talk a little bit about your background and how you met Ed and
that's a great question. Thanks for
general.
asking. It's almost like I didn't tell you to ask me that before.
Well, we are very scripted here. No.
No, Ed and I met. I was about 9 years old. A little background about me: I had 3 liver transplants as a baby, and then leukemia and a whole lot of other stuff. Ed, after his career, had 3 kidney transplants and some type of cancer. I forgot what he had, and a whole lot of other stuff. I met him at Hall of Fame weekend when he was selling his book on the sidewalk because he wrote a very great book, and we noticed that it said kidney transplant in it. I didn't know who he was. I mean, I was like 7 years old at the time, but and then we were asking like, "Oh, kidney transplant," and I had 3 liver transplants. He was like, "Oh, cool." And then literally ever since that moment, he's not. I call him. He's not blood related, but he's my uncle. And when he calls me,
awesome.
When he calls me, he'll be like, "Oh, Uncle Ed checking in," or whatever. But
now you had these liver transplants, all 3 before the age of what?
2.
Were you heavy drinker?
Yeah, it's times are tough in the womb sometimes.
The womb is tough, right? You got all those stories. Was it the formula? I mean, was it the formula alcohol? No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, a little moonshine in the womb.
But you're literally a miracle because you had these transplants and you survived thanks to the generosity of organ donors.
That's
Do you want to say anything about organ donation?
I would love to. There are not enough of them. And unfortunately, not a lot of people know about organ donation and the real facts. And 22 people die every day waiting for an organ. And all you have to do is just sign up to become an organ donor. One person can directly save 8 lives by donating heart, both lungs, intestines, kidneys, liver, and tissues like skin and blood vessels and corneas can affect the lives of 50 people.
Yep.
And sometimes people say to me, they'll be like, why would I donate my corneas? Because I've had glasses my whole life.
Right.
That doesn't make sense. And I tell them a blind person would love to have glasses right now.
Right.
So you don't even realize, never count yourself out to be an organ donor because ultimately that decision isn't made until the doctor is literally holding the organ in his hand. So just sign up. It costs nothing, and it really saves lives and makes a big impact.
Now, organ donors saved your life, and now you're an EMT in the city.
I am.
So now that is going to save lives exponentially. How many lives have you saved so far?
I haven't brought anybody back.
Right.
But it's fun because it's not like EMS is just transporting drunk people all the time.
Right.
We don't get any of those.
Well, I was an EMT in the Volleys, so I only was on a crew where we brought one person back. That was it. But he was a 40-something-year-old guy that had the heart attack. He had chest pain. He was in the ambulance, complaining of chest pain, and he coded in the ambulance.
Oh, that was the fun.
So my friend who's a paramedic, he got him right back. He had the right everything. If it was
timing.
just me as an
Yeah.
EMT, the guy probably would be dead. But I had a paramedic, we worked together to save him, and we saved him.
Yeah, there was a bunch of times where if we literally got there 10 seconds later, like if the ambulance had to go around a double parker or anything like that, the person would be dead. Be dead.
Yeah.
If you don't get
Very
there.
interesting.
And also, I'm an EMT in the city. I know my friends, transplant friends, I call them because we stay connected. But a bunch of them are nurses. Some are in medical school, or PAs, like everywhere. You don't even realize. So it's not just the one person who's being saved. You can't even quantify how many lives you can save just by choosing to be a donor.
Now, is there a website that people can go to learn more about organ donation?
Yes, you can go to organdonor.gov. That's the word organdonor.gov. And you just click the state and you enter your name and you're in the registry.
Wow.
A big thing that they changed was you used to be able to sign the back of your license.
Yeah. Can't do that?
You have to be in the registry now. That's not enough.
Oh, so it's both. You register.
Yeah.
You still sign the back of the license?
You get a heart on your license. So,
yes, the new licenses have all those symbols.
Because it used to be you just sign the back of it, but that you have
not
to
enough.
Now you have to be in the registry.
So the state will reissue your license with the donate. Oh, Bobby has it. Our producer,
Awesome.
Mr. Producer,
there
Bobby
we go.
Can I see that with my this time with my reading glasses? Oh wow, look at that donor.
First time I ever did it.
Oh wow. So Bobby, could you just tell real quick how that happened? How you did that?
Well, when you fill out your application for the renewal, there's a box right there. It says, organ donor. So I never did it before.
Right.
But I figured, you know what? If, God forbid, I go and I could save somebody's life, what the hell? So I'm not going to need it.
Right.
So I just checked it off.
You just check off the box and that's it.
Just check off the box and you're in.
Yep.
That's awesome. Now,
That's
we
it.
did a segment last week about the new enhanced driver's licenses that are coming out. That you need to get before October 1st of 2020. You need a real ID compliant ID to fly even domestically in the United States. So you either have to have an enhanced or a real ID driver's license or a passport. Now, if you're going to get that enhanced driver's license, which many people are rushing to get before the October 1st of next year deadline, at that time, if you renew early, take the time if you're interested in organ donation to do that as well. And then you'll have everything done at one time.
Yeah, so they actually, I think it was 2 years ago, they made it a law where you have to answer the question. Because it used to be when you registered, where you got your new license, the organ donor question was on there, but you didn't have to answer it.
Now you have to?
Now you have to either check yes or no. And if you're really, I don't know, I haven't met anybody who's done this, and if you're really like OCD, I guess, you can specify which organs and tissues you want.
Right.
It gets really specific if you want to.
If you want to, right.
Or you can just pick everything.
Like whatever the need is
Yeah.
that's medically necessary at whatever time that happens, right? Very interesting.
And
now, we also need sponsors for the show, the radio, so you can donate cash. Can they donate organs to the show, too?
Why not? Sure.
I don't know how we'd cash those.
I don't know. We don't really have a place to store the
We
organs.
don't have a place to store the organs?
So I think,
All right, so maybe they should send a check instead.
Let's keep the organ donations.
I'm desperate for sponsors, Bobby.
Let's not bunch them all together.
I did a big campaign for sponsor. Beautiful package for sponsorship. We went out to over 100 businesses and we got a 0.0% return. So we're proud of that. So I think I have to go out to like 10 million businesses to get a sponsor. But we'll see. There's a lot of people that are thinking about it.
Yeah, and what I also like to tell people is you're not just giving people an organ. Like I had my first transplant before my first birthday, so my donors gave me every birthday I've ever had, the chance to go to high school. You're giving people more times with their families, more weddings, graduation, like things you can't replace. So just think, and I always ask when I talk to people about it and do speeches, it's like, okay, who here would take an organ if they needed one? If a doctor said you needed a transplant, who would say, yes, okay, I'll get a transplant? Everybody raises their hand, of course. Now then I ask, all right, who would give one, or who's already an organ donor, and maybe like one person raises their hand.
Now, if I were to give large sections of my body to the donor and my blood or whatever, would they be able to do impressions after that? Like, would they get my material too?
I don't know.
I don't know.
That would work
That's
out.
interesting.
That is it. Some recipients have claimed that. But,
Yes, I was just about to say that. I
yeah.
have heard that, and people have gotten these talents like playing the piano. They never touched a piano in their
Right.
whole life, and they found out that the organ donor was a piano player. So it's very
Really?
yeah.
So there could be
Yeah.
some DNA code in the organs that we don't understand yet. That's
Yeah.
but I don't know if that's such a
Yeah,
good
I
thing
don't-
for you.
for me. They'd be a hack instantly. They'd all of a sudden, oh my God, I had talent before I got that guy's organ. Now I can't stop doing Casey Kasem around the house.
Yeah, like the wife of whoever receives your donation is not going to be happy.
My wife, I have been driving my wife crazy with the Bane impression because I've been working on. I don't know why, because I saw The Dark Knight and I love Bane. He's a wise ass. He always has the right answer. So my wife, she said to me, she goes, "Are you just going to sit on the couch and watch football all day?" And I went, "Of course." Things are going according to plan. So she's getting kind of sick of the Bane thing, but I'm sick of her curtains. So what that, those curtains.
Let me just ask you a quick question, then
Sure.
you guys can continue. Have you ever, and I don't want to get too personal, but role played with your wife, where you actually played another character in bed?
In bed. So no, because
have you played somebody better looking or no?
what one time I'll tell you, this is a funny. It's yes and no. One time we were in bed on a Sunday morning, and when I was in the fire department, my pager went off. So being a James Bond fan, I said, "Sorry, my dear, Judy calls. This is for England." And she went, "Oh, James," like the women always do. So technically yes, but technically no. It's weird. That's a weird answer, but that's the answer. It's a weird show, Jack.
Yeah.
Welcome to a weird show. But our producer's Bobby. Bobby runs the whole show. We couldn't do it without Bobby. Bobby is Mr. Producer, and he happened to have a organ donor license.
I know. Let's give him a round of applause.
Round of applause. So we're still working on that elusive sponsorship. So we have Ed calling in at 9:30. I think he's going to call in.
Yes.
So we could talk a little bit about baseball. You're a big Met fan, as I am.
Unfortunately, yes.
Yes, we have suffered. We have suffered.
Like I thought
So
cancer.
you really have a
Yeah.
tough life. You
Yeah.
went through all those donations, and then you became a Met fan.
I know.
Well,
I know.
who-
Watching the Mets every year has me missing cancer sometimes. I gotta say. Don't worry, I can say that joke.
You could say it. Yeah, I'm not touching that one. But so there is a movement now, and we're on opposite sides of this issue, to bring back the black jerseys, the Mets black jerseys. And I am vehemently against it, because I was vehemently against it at the time, even though I bought one. I'm vehemently against it because the team colors are blue and orange. And I don't know, you can't wear the blue cap with the black jersey, so I don't like having to have a black cap. To me, it's. I was in marketing for 12 years, branding. I like consistency, right? Blue and orange. When Citi Field first opened, the fence was black. I'm like, the foul poles are orange. It looks like the Giants. I said blue and orange. It'll blend in nice with the foul pole. Citi Field, by the way, is the only ballpark in the major leagues with orange foul poles. Every other one is yellow.
Oh,
Yeah.
Huh.
Just in case anybody didn't know that.
I didn't notice with all the losing.
See, yeah.
All the losing. It's
All the
kinda
losing.
distracting.
So why do you like the black jerseys? Why not
Well-
just
well,
keep it
first-
simple,
well-
blue and orange?
Well, first, let me say this because I'm just a little frustrated with the Mets. How about we focus on getting some players, and I don't care what they wear, because you know what looks the best?
Winning. Yes,
looks
I
good.
agree.
In any color. I
If-
don't care.
Yeah, so I guess if I had a choice of but we know that the jerseys
Yes.
aren't going to help them win or lose. Although on a hot day, I wouldn't want to. Well, they'll have to have the black ones on a night game or something.
Yeah, but-
I just don't. Don't you like the blue? Because then you need the black jacket. The sweatshirts have to change. You need like two color schemes. To me. I don't like that. I like blue and orange consistently. Like the gray road, the blue cap works. The white jersey, the blue cap works. It's like you keep the blue cap.
Yeah, I don't like the new road ones with the blue jersey and
With the silver?
and it looks dirty.
Yeah, it looks dirty
didn't-
on TV.
It looks
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it didn't get out of the washing machine yet or
Yeah,
something.
they did that gray, and they also have a hat which matches that with
Yeah,
gray
it's gross.
and orange. Yeah, it's weird looking. I think it should be orange with a gray background instead of a gray thing with an orange background.
Anything, yeah, there's too much gray. It
Too
looks
much gray
dirty.
because it blends in, I guess, with the gray pants. Now, do you know why baseball has white uniforms at home and gray on the road?
I do not.
Because in the olden times, before baseball stadiums were this, fancy and everything, the equipment manager for the road team had to wash the uniforms at a local laundromat, and it was easy to keep the gray uniforms clean for the road trips.
Huh.
That's why.
That's interesting.
Gray away, white at home. And now the Mets also have most teams have, if not all the teams, have a alternate jersey which incorporates the primary color and the secondary trim color. So the Mets have a blue jersey with orange trim. So that's to incorporate the primary and secondary color of the team, which I think those look fantastic. It's like this font that the audience
Yeah,
can't see, but it's like
thanks
this
for
font.
showing the audience.
Yeah, I have my
radio.
Mets sweatshirt on the
Yeah,
radio.
your
We can't
sweatshirt,
see the
that's
shirt, but
that's a great move. But it's the Mets, so there's no point in saying this anyway. But like they have all the different jerseys just to sell stuff.
right.
And then
they don't have the money to pay the players.
Yeah,
right.
they don't sign anybody with the money. So it's just.
I know they better
but,
make some big moves.
But to answer your original question,
Mm-hmm.
I grew up. I was born in '93, so by the time I knew, could follow the game, I was like 6. So that was like '98, '99, 2000
Right.
when they just got Piazza, and I think that's around
That's the black
when
jersey era.
they
yeah.
came out. So that's
98 to 2011. They wore.
I still have it looks like almost a doll size now, but a black Piazza one. So I just always liked them.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we'll see what happens. They're gonna have a vote on it, I'm sure. But let's talk about baseball analytics. So, and it'd be interesting to hear Ed's take on some of the things as a catcher and signs and everything else. My day job is I'm an analytics consultant. I consult with businesses and I take a lot of data and we crunch the numbers and we put it into formats that people can see visually. So I just want to give you this statistic on baseball analytics. What do you got there? Oh yeah. If we could text him, we can call him now. Sure. So Amazon Web Services works with Major League Baseball. You see it on every game. It'll say StatCast by Amazon Web Services. And just to tell you how the game has evolved and
Don't
changed.
drive me crazy.
What?
What? I'll let you finish.
All those stats and everything?
That mean nothing. Yeah.
That mean nothing. But in terms of changing how the game is played, now I will say this. I am all for, and it's interesting that he played with Billy Beane, who invented the analytics, right? So I am all for a GM or the team giving the manager all the analytical data that they have, any intelligence they can provide on the play, right? But the manager in the dugout, I'm a firm believer in this, should make the final decision. Even during the Giant game, I was watching the Giant game 2 weeks ago, and I think it was whoever the announcer was saying that the analytics say you should go for 2, but I think you should kick the field goal. Right, just take the 1 point. And Carl Banks said, yeah, but your kicker looked lousy in the pregame warm-ups, and he missed the first extra point. So even though the analytics might say to do something, and you certainly want to know those percentages, the manager, the coach, whatever, should, I think, make the final decision based on what he's seeing from his players and the other team's players in the game during that second-to-second decision-making that goes on during a game.
And you see it in different sports when the calls are coming from, like in football, the coordinator's trying to make calls. Like, you can't see everything that's going on the field.
Correct.
It's like they're taking the human element out of it.
Right.
Like,
you don't want to take it out of it, but you want to. So like when they put the shift on it, they're doing that based on the percentages of where the player is sitting. Like one time I saw Terry Collins say, he goes, "I'm going to come home and my wife's going to say you're an idiot. Why did you walk him?" Because I'm making up a number. Let's say there was an 80% chance the guy was going to do something. Well, the 20 happened that time. It's all random chance.
Yeah, no, and I get the numbers and stuff, but sometimes I'll be watching the game, and guys, you see it all the time, especially in baseball. Guys who are hitting 190 on the year can go 4 for 4 with 2 home runs,
Absolutely.
go off one day,
Yep.
and then that pitcher, although the analytics say is
Yep.
I'm making numbers like he gets hitters out with his fastball 87.8% of the time.
Yep.
Meanwhile, the guy who has a 190 average just happens to be having a good day, but the computer says pitch to him or whatever, and then they pitch to him and there's a home
Yep.
run. Like,
So-
you can't tell the streaks and the
Absolutely not.
It takes that out of it, which
But let me tell you, in terms of the data, like what we're talking about here, like when people say, "Oh, there's a percentage of this, percentage of that," there's a Doppler radar system behind home plate sampling the ball position. You ready for this? 2,000 times a second.
that's
2,000 times a
Insane.
second. Listen to this. 10 to 15 seconds after a play is completed, the data is transmitted to Amazon Web Services for analysis. 10 to 15 seconds. This is the biggest number of all. There are 7 terabytes of data generated in every major league game. 7 terabytes of data. Most computers come with hard drives that are less than 1 terabyte.
That's refresh my memory. That's 1,000 gigs.
Yep, times 7. And that with 2,430 games in a season, 17 petabytes. Not pedophiles, not Jeffrey Epstein. 17 petabytes of data each season. That's so imagine all that data, right? You're talking about hundreds of millions of bits of data that have to be analyzed. So the theory of modern baseball, I happen to have this book handy. I mean, they look at what the on-base percentage is going to be based on where the pitch location is. So it's what's the stat I'm looking for here? It's weighted on base average. So based on the pitch count and the location, the audience can't see this, but there's a heat map here with like 30 numbers based on pitch location. So they know, depending on where a pitch is located in the strike zone, what the percentage is of the person getting on base. So you remember, you saw Moneyball, right?
Yeah.
Do I care if it's a hit or a walk?
No.
No, I do not.
Hello, Ed.
Hello.
Hey, what's going on, buddy?
Doug, man. What do you know?
Why
Do
don't
you want to introduce Ed?
Yeah, this is Ed. He was the catcher on the 1986 Mets that won the World Series. Still the last Mets team to win the World Series.
Yes.
My good friend, he had, as I just mentioned, 3 kidney transplants and all kinds of other stuff. What's going on, man?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just so honored that you two big leaguers are allowing me to be on your show, taking my call. What an honor.
Ed, I graduated high school in 1987, so thank you for making my senior year awesome.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for making me feel old.
My name is John Santo. I'm the host of this show, the radio, which is an internet-based radio show, and I'm a stand-up comic here on Long Island, big Met fan. So I had Jack on the show. I saw Jack destroy a room doing stand-up on Saturday night at a gala event that we had here on the island. And we're happy to have you on the show. Thank you for taking the time to call in.
Well, I appreciate it, John. Yeah, I've heard some good things about you, and if you can keep up with my friend Jack, he's my hero. John, I met this kid when he was about 6 years old in Cooperstown, New York, and I just have been amazed at what he is going through, and he has just been such an inspiration to me. We joke around a lot, and he's a pretty funny guy, but he knows that I'm funnier, so we don't have to go with that. But yeah, he was doing a show in Long Island, and he says he comes. I happened to be out on the island doing a Mets thing or something, and he said, "Hey, Ed, why don't you do 5 minutes?" I'm like, "Do 5 minutes of what?" Stand up. I'm like, "Dude, I don't do 5 minutes, man." He said, "But you're a speaker, man. You speak. Oh, you've been speaking for years and stuff." And I'm like, "Yeah, but dude, I don't do 5 minutes." I mean, he was twisting my arm like, how can I say no to this guy who there were times, John, when we would see each other through the years, and we wondered if it was the last time we were going to see each other, either from him or from me, with all our health issues. But anyway, he drugged me up there that night, and I was funny as heck. Right, right, Jack?
Yeah, that was a great night. That was the same year that was right after they lost the World Series. And
In
you
2015?
Yeah, and you were ripping on them. It was great.
Oh.
Oh, was I?
Yeah. Oh, was I?
Well, they traded me away, and they haven't won since. So, it's been since 1987. I mean, I signed with the Mets in the minor leagues in '83, and we won in Lynchburg, Virginia, in Single A, Double A in Jackson, Mississippi, Triple A the following year in Norfolk, Virginia.
That's right.
In 1986, the World Series. They traded me away, and the Mets have not won a World Series again.
And they traded you to the team that beat them in the 2015 World Series, right? They traded you to the Royals,
Yeah,
right?
that's the curse of Ed
They
Hearn.
did.
It's the curse of Ed
Yeah,
Hearn.
take that. Yeah, I don't know.
I still have not seen the
anyway.
end of that World Series. I couldn't
What's
watch.
that, John?
I have not seen the end of the 2015 World Series. I couldn't watch. I turned it off. I couldn't do it. I went to
John, I was just blown away when that was going on. For the Royals, getting in a position like that. I mean, they before and after they've never sniffed a playoff, but except for 1980. And I went to a game and I saw this big pack of Mets fans up in the upper deck in left field. And so I told my wife, "Hey, I'm going to go over and go up and see those folks." And I went up, and we had the greatest time. Right there in Kansas City, just a huge crowd of Mets fans and office staff as well. But the funny thing to me was, before it started, everybody was saying, "Who you pulling for?" I'm like, honestly, I don't give a rip. I mean, what am I going to be? I'm not going to face plant myself and say, in front of the Royals fan, "Oh yeah, I'm pulling for the Mets," or vice versa, right? So I just played it down the middle, and I actually took a Mets shirt with me, and I wasn't really going to wear it, but when I saw the Mets fans up there, I went up all the way up to whatever it took to get up there, and just before I went out through the tunnel where they were seated, I switched shirts and put on a Mets
that's
shirt.
funny. He's like a double agent.
I was playing double agent for sure.
Well, it was amazing for me. The gala that Jack did the other night, I was at the gala as well. I'm one of the Laughter Saves Lives comedians. We went down to spring training, and I'd never been to spring training before. It was 2015. So I go down to spring training. I'd never been there before. That was amazing. Then I got my first ball at the game when Wilmer Flores hit the walk-off home run. I finally, ball boy threw it into the crowd. John LaRocque, who's president of Laughter Saves Lives, none of his family wanted to go. We ended up at that game, 3 rows off the on-deck circle. That's the game when Wilmer hit the walk-off home run that started the World Series run. Yeah. Then I'm in a World Series. Now, this year, I haven't been to spring training since. I'm going back down to take charge personally because 2020 we're gonna win the World Series.
So it's your fault.
No, I'm going to help. This time I'm going down.
No, it's your fault they haven't been in it since.
Oh, well, no. Yeah, right. That's why I'm going down to take charge personally. So
very, very nice. Very nice. I like that kind of attitude. John, there's something you ought to do. It's something I'll be doing here first couple weeks in January, the 16th through like the 25th. We have Mets Fantasy Camp, man. You can pay like a few bucks.
I saw it. It's sold out both weeks. Both weeks is already sold out.
Like in 20 minutes. It's crazy.
Yeah, it went.
But guys have such a great time, and you would be a hoot there.
Oh, I would love it. My friend Eric DeTaglione went with his brother.
Okay.
He went down there, and he goes, we're a bunch of 50-year-old guys playing baseball in the hot Florida sun. We're dropping like flies. He goes, it's like a Civil War reenactment. And
oh, my God.
I would love to do that. And I told my wife, it's like, look, you got to send me. It's a midlife thing.
The waiting line for the trainer's room in the mornings is like 60 people. It's hilarious.
But I still play softball, right? I still have some baseball, softball left in me. But I can't play for very long, but I can play. I was playing shortstop and the ball was whacked at me pretty hard. and John
Yeah.
Butero was the pitcher.
Oh, boy.
And I made the move over. And he's like, I'm like, oh my God, it's in my glove. I got it. And I threw it over to second for the out. He goes, how surprised were you that it was in your glove? I go, it took me a second to believe it that I actually had it. So,
Luckily, the guy running to first was
very slow.
also 50 years old, and it took a while for him to get
Well, one of us baseball guy, major leaguers or something, we had been there. We said, "Oh, you should have seen that play, man."
You know, it's funny because your birthday is August.
You had your eyes closed.
I actually picked it up, and I had my eyes open. I just couldn't believe it was in the glove. But your birthday is August 23rd, 1960. I'm August 19th. I was born 69, the year that they won the World Series. And you're not that far off from birthdays from your teammate Ron Darling, because Ron Darling is also August 19th.
Well, there's no chance that I could have been born before Ron Darling on his birthday. I mean,
You're 4 days apart.
Mr. P, Mr. Pretty, lowly old Ed, I had to wait for Ron's birthday to pass before I could be born.
Yeah, and Ed, I don't know if you heard, we were talking about the baseball analytics of today's game and how much they've affected. What's your take on all the analytics? I know you're a catcher who I've spoken to you a couple times. It drives you crazy that sometimes the manager or the people on the field aren't making the decision.
OMG, is the show over yet? Jack, you know better than to ask me a question like this.
See,
oh my goodness.
My opinion, Ed, is that the manager should be given as whatever data they have, but the manager, I'm a firm believer in the manager making the decisions.
Well, John, I welcome you to the Old Timers Club. You might as well just zip it up now because the game has changed, my man.
Yeah,
it's horrible.
I'm in analytics. My day job is in analytics. I'm not on the sports side. I'm on the business side. But I actually did get a job interview with the Cleveland Indians. A recruiter called me out of the blue just because they found me online that I did this. But I didn't.
They saw you play a shortstop.
And they said they go.
You know what? I don't know whether you're BSing me or not, but
no,
I would believe it, man.
No, a recruiter called me.
I would believe it.
But it wasn't for analytics for the players. It was for the business side, like ticket sales. And
like marketing?
Marketing and optimizing revenue and stuff like that, which is what all my business experience is in. So, but they said, are you a Yankee fan or a Mets fan?
That's where it belongs.
Yeah, that's all. So you don't like analytics even as a tool for the manager?
I just, I don't know. I'm too old school, I guess. But it's gone beyond that now.
Yeah, it's too much.
What's really sad is that, you got, like the Yankees hiring a 31-year-old or 2-year-old pitching coach and Larry Rothschild with tremendous years of experience and a proven winner, and he's out and they're bringing in some young guy. The Yankees also, I just saw 2 days ago, this is great. Let me rant now.
Yeah.
All right, just remember, Ed, you got to keep it clean.
They hired a woman to be in charge of their minor league hitting or be assistant. Like, seriously. I mean, and the Cubs hired a woman too. Now, I love women. I mean, really do. And we can analyze that if you like, but I know you'll probably get lots of bad feedback and I'll get hate mail now and that I said that, but
Ed's opinions are his own.
That the Yankees hired had been like a strength coach, and I saw this on Facebook on a private group of former major league and minor league players, and somebody said, yeah, but she's a weightlifter, and they showed a tweet of her squatting like big plates on that bar. And, okay, she was pretty impressive with that. But, I mean, it's like the guys were saying, man, if you haven't been in the batter's box and faced a 95-mile-an-hour fastball with a slider and a changeup coming right behind that,
yep.
I'm sorry. I don't know. It's just the game has really changed. I mean, they did some crazy stuff with the independent league this year, experimenting with such things as you can steal first base
Yeah.
on a wild pitch.
Yep, the
I mean,
Long Island
what's
Ducks.
up with that?
The Long Island Ducks have that in the Atlantic League, and it was
Oh my goodness.
yeah. So
Well, you know what's really not fair about that
what?
is guys like me and you, John, that can't run. We can't steal if a thing goes in the press box. We never get to first base.
And it also puts more pressure on the catcher. Now, will that affect as a catcher? Will that affect pitch selection? I would think it would, right?
I mean, it would somewhat, but but you have to be. There's two stances. There's a primary stance where you're nice and relaxed with nobody on base, and you're catching balls to make them look as good as they can for the umpire.
Yep.
And then there's secondary stance with runners on base, and that's up. Your butt's off your heels, and you're up, and that's a strenuous. That's a workout when runners are on, and so if you have to do that every single pitch of a game, I mean, the catchers aren't going to be able to catch. 90, 100 games a year, I wouldn't think, if that was ever implemented.
See, that's why, like, as a fan, like, we think about, we talk about these things. But when you think about, like, the question I just asked Ed, as a catcher, that affects the game because he's, and the long term, not just that inning, but if the catcher's tired because he's making those adjustments, it affects the whole game.
Yeah, it does, because I thought it was a kind of a fun thing to try because I'm a Mets fan and we can't get anybody on base.
Right, so let's steal it. Steal the base.
Yeah.
So only the Mets team, the Mets guys can steal first. The other team can't do it, right?
Well,
so that'd make it kind of fair, right?
The thing I've always wanted to see at Citi Field is movable fences. So the fences would come in when the Mets are up, and they'd go back when the other team. But they got to move slowly so that nobody knows.
This is what I don't get. The Mets, they were trying to. I get they're trying to make the new ballpark, to look like modeled after Ebbets Field.
Yep.
But they built a ballpark they can't hit in. They made it too big. Like they've since moved it in a little bit, but they've never had the team for the ballpark that they built. It doesn't make any sense.
You know what I always wondered? Because baseball is the only team sport where the dimensions of the playing field are not the same. Football, they're all the same.
Yeah.
Soccer is the same. Baseball is the one team sport where they're all different.
But that's why, all the analytics and the exit velocity and the angle, it means nothing. Like, who cares if he hits it 335 feet or 500 feet? It's a home run.
It's a home run, right? You don't get extra points.
Yeah.
Well, maybe they should. Maybe if you hit it 500 feet, you get an extra run.
Yeah.
Please don't.
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Oh, my goodness.
It's like I'm leaving the show. Actually, we have to. We're up on a break, but do you want to thank Ed for calling for us?
Ed, thanks for calling in. You hit it. You
hit it out of the park.
Yeah, literally. And I've told you this before. You said it of me. You're also my hero, as I've told you many times. We looked up to each other, so it's always fun just chatting with you, especially baseball. And I know you're a busy guy, but thanks for taking some time out to call in.
Man, Jack, I'd do anything for you, buddy. And John, you sound pretty good yourself. So you guys holler at me if you need me. I'll be there, man.
Thank you, and hopefully I'll meet you someday over here in Citi Field.
You bet.
All right, thanks again, Ed.
Have a good night, buddy.
Take care. Good night, guys.
Good night. How awesome was that? We don't just talk about baseball analytics. We get a major league catcher to call in and tell us the whole, the player side.
Yeah, this was...
and the professional side.
He didn't ask me to be on the show. He asked Ed to be on the show, but I had to be on the show also. That's how I ended up on the show tonight.
No, you told me about Ed while you were here. That's the funny thing. You just said, you want Ed to call in?
Yeah.
And I'm like, you're never going to get Ed to call in with 2 minutes notice. You're good. You're very good. Anyway, we have a weather update. Thanksgiving. Yes, big storm coming in Thanksgiving. Just in time for Thanksgiving to screw up the travel. And we have Casey Kasem, our celebrity weather person? I don't know. Celebrity weather guest co-host. Hello, I'm Casey Kasem. Skies will be mostly clear tonight with lows ranging from the lower 40s in New York City to the lower and mid-30s in the interior. Pine Barrens region of Long Island. Temperatures on Tuesday will climb a couple of notches to the 50s for most of the area, breaking 60 in some spots. Clouds will increase Tuesday night ahead of a frontal system with lows similar to the previous night. Scattered showers from the frontal system will move in by Wednesday and screw up everything just in time for Thanksgiving. So if you're flying, you're probably not. Just kidding. Check with your airlines and make sure, because just because the weather is good between where you are and where you're going doesn't mean you're not going to get screwed up, because flights and equipment come in from all over the country, especially at the hub cities. So look at San Francisco, LA, Denver, Chicago, JFK, Newark, LaGuardia, and Orlando. Oh, and Atlanta. We can't forget Atlanta. Thank you, Casey Kasem. Wasn't that cool, Casey Kasem?
I didn't know he was here. That's amazing.
He's dead, and we got him. We got Ed Hearn with 5 minutes notice, and we got Casey Kasem, who's dead. Aren't you glad you came in?
I am flabbergasted.
What a show. What a show. All right, I'm telling you, what a show. We even got Dangerfield. He's dead, too. All right, so what else we got here? So that was amazing. That was really incredible. Ed Hearn called in. And all right, so let's see. How about those? You're a Jet fan, right?
I'm a Tennessee Titans fan.
Oh, what the hell?
Thankfully, because
what? Oh shit! We don't screen these people close enough. How are you a Titans fan? You live in New York.
My last liver came from Tennessee.
Oh.
So if didn't only save my life, it saved me from becoming a Jets fan. So I got 2 for 1.
You got 2 for 1 on that one. So your last liver came from Tennessee. That's why you're a Titans fan.
Yes.
Interesting.
And I've been working on this. I know you're an impressionist, so I've been working really hard on this impression for you.
Which one?
This is the Jets radio announcers.
Do it.
During the NFL playoffs.
That's great. That was spot on. That was so authentic. That was
very accurate.
100% accurate. They're terrible. Well, now you're a millennial, whatever they call it. Now, there's a big thing now, student loan forgiveness, right? So we actually have somebody here from New Jersey who has an opinion on it. So do you have any student loans?
I do not.
Do not. Okay, so you don't really care.
No.
All right. Well, we have somebody from New Jersey, a New Jersey resident, Anthony Soprano, who has an editorial opinion about student loan forgiveness. Anthony?
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for having me on. Listen, enough of this forgiveness shit. You just took out the loans, you just got to pay them back. All right? It's 2 points above the VIG. Now, you just took out the loans in good faith. Now, all of a sudden, you don't want to make the payments? Get the frick out of here. You pay what you owe. End of subject.
Thank you, Anthony Soprano, for that editorial on student loan debt forgiveness. We have big stories that we cover here.
We have a lot of people here.
Jack, a lot of people.
Yeah.
It's a small studio.
I was just about to say that. I don't know where you fit all these people.
I don't know either. What are you doing for Thanksgiving?
Working.
You're working? Why?
Because that's how EMTs...
No, take the day. You can't take the day off?
No.
Just
started, so no.
Well, it's very selfish of these people to call for. No, if nobody has an emergency on, see, in the volleys we just don't go.
Can you have your heart attack another day?
Tell them to call back.
Turkey's almost done.
Yeah, take an aspirin, call back. I mean, just go to the ER yourself. Take the subway. No, I know you guys do a great job. Thank you. You have to work. People don't think about the EMTs, the firefighters, the police that work 24/7 around the clock to keep the rest of us safe. Especially in the city, where anything can happen anytime.
At any time, people can drop into a radio show. You didn't know you were here. Anything can happen.
Anything can happen.
Yeah.
Anything can happen. Well, Thanksgiving is a very exciting time of the year. So it's time for, we have Adam Sandler, who's going to sing.
No way.
Adam is here, and he's going to sing. Do you remember the turkey song?
Yes, I do. I can't wait.
So Adam Sandler is going to sing the turkey song. As a happy Thanksgiving to our listeners.
I got that by the title.
You got that by the title?
Yes.
You are sharp as a tack. I love this guy. Turkey for me, turkey for you. Let's eat the turkey in my big brown shoe.
love to eat the turkey at the table. I once saw a movie with Betty Grable. Jack, jump in here. I forgot to give you the lyrics. Turkey lurkey do and turkey lurkey dap. I eat that turkey, then I take a nap. Turkey and sweet potato pie. Sammy Davis Jr. only had one eye.
Turkey for the girls and turkey for the boys.
My favorite kind of pants are corduroys. Gobble, gobble, goo, gobble, gobble, giggle, I think so. I wish turkey only cost a nickel. Oh, I love turkey on Thanksgiving. Wait a second. Donald Trump is here. Turkey and sweet potato pie. Turkey and sweet potato pie. Sammy Davis Jr. You all know Sammy Davis Jr.
Of course.
Sammy Davis Jr. only had one eye. He had one eye. One eye. And look, Barack, join in, Barack. Turkey and sweet potato pie. Sammy Davis Jr. Only had one eye. See, a very bipartisan, happy Thanksgiving to the people. And let's finish the Adam Sandler song with the last couple of verses. Gobble, gobble, goo, and gobble, gobble, giggle. I wish turkey only cost a nickel. Oh, I love turkey on Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. That was good, I thought, right?
Yeah, you were.
We should have rehearsed.
Adam Sandler was good. I apologize, Adam. That's why I'm only a comedian and not a singer.
I can't sing that well either.
No.
So right now, all my friends that are in the music industry are like, geez, I really wish he didn't do that.
No, I think no. Everybody with ears. Is
Everybody
like,
with ears is wishing
I really
that
wish,
we didn't do
I really
that.
wish they didn't just try to do that.
So I got to tell you a story. So the stores that serve the Long Island Railroad to Penn Station, a lot of people are going to take the railroad to the parade. They're going to be closing. I think they're going to hopefully open for Thanksgiving, but they're going to be closing. I'll tell you a true story. What happened to me on Thanksgiving one time? I'm not going to say the name of the pizzeria. I don't want to get sued, and maybe I can get them as a sponsor. But I was in the city with my wife. We'd seen the parade, and I was flipping starving. I just figured, let me get a slice as a bridge to the Thanksgiving.
Hold you over, yeah.
To hold me over, a bridge, right? So I got one slice for my wife, one slice for me, and 2 sodas. It was like $12. I'm like, oh, what's with the freaking price? It says they doubled all the prices for Thanksging.
Oh, nice.
So I don't know how I feel about that. Yeah, they're working on Thanksgiving, I guess, and they want to make. But I thought that it wasn't posted.
It sounds like it wasn't even posted.
I don't. They may have been a little sign that he pointed. I don't remember. It was 20 years ago.
That sounds very anti.
I'm still bitter. It's 20 years ago. I'm still bitter.
I can see that. Yeah.
So I don't want to say the name of the pizzeria just in case they're thinking about sponsoring. But it was
which
not.
I'm sure they are.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope so. I'd love to get Macy's as a sponsor. That would be great. That would be great. So any other?
That would be great. You have a big John Santo float.
Why, the float?
If they
sponsor how big would the? What do you mean a big John Santo? How big would it be?
In the parade.
Well, but why big? Are you insinuating I'm big?
Well.
No, it would be a big float. I don't even know if it would float.
It's my first time.
Yeah, no, yeah, it would be a big float.
For those without eyes, yes, it's big.
It would be big.
It would be big.
Be a huge float. Very big float.
You sound out of breath saying that.
I am out of breath. I'd love to have a float, the ice cream float.
Yeah.
But have you ever been to the Thanksgiving Day Parade?
No.
You've never been?
I've seen it on TV.
Where are you? Are you near there with your EMS?
I don't know yet. We go.
That would be worth it. You get to bring the.
Probably not. No.
No, you wouldn't be that close. I went. I went 20 years ago.
Even if we were there, we just get nonstop.
You can't watch the parade?
No.
Why?
Because it'd be closed.
Oh, there'd be a lot
that
of
many
calls,
people.
Right?
Yeah,
it'd always be closed people.
Yeah.
I was in the Volleys and they had a fireworks show at Jones Beach. My company stood by for the thing, and this jerk had to have an accident right before. I missed the whole show. I went there to watch the fireworks, not take care of people. And unfortunately, there was an accident right to the jerk. And then, what are you speeding for? There's nowhere to go. and he hit another car, and we had to take him to the hospital. I missed the whole fireworks.
Yeah.
The whole point was to go watch the fireworks.
I know. Can you just have an accident after the show? Before or like earlier or after the show?
Or after.
Be considerate with you.
So you're going to find out that every time you sit down for a meal, you get a call, right? It'll be
I
a
already
slow
know
day.
that. I already know that. Yeah.
I hate that. It's like, you know what? We'll be there in 20 minutes. The food's getting cold. Tell them to put a garden hose on it. We'll be there when we get there. No, you can't do that.
No.
Well, I want to thank you for coming in. I think we're at the end of our show. Unless there's anything else you want to talk about. We have any big news stories of the day that we didn't cover yet?
I can't think of anything.
No, we did the turkey thing. We did the Mets thing. We did everything.
We did.
We
We're
did.
productive.
Why don't you give everybody that website one more time for the organ donation?
For the organ donation, to sign up, it's organdonor.gov. That's the word organdonor.gov. And it's Santo figured it out, so it's not difficult.
It's not difficult.
No, you just click on the state, enter your name, and that's about it.
Boom, and it's done.
Boom.
So it's Thanksgiving. So the thing I sung with that song, right? I was going to do it as a video for Facebook to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving on Facebook. But then I said, if they don't listen to the show, do I really care if they have a good Thanksgiving? They should be listening to the show and they hear it on the show.
Exactly.
Right? What should I do? Should I do it as a
entice them.
video, as a courtesy for my Facebook friends? Or do you take the position, if they don't listen to the show, screw them, they don't get to hear it? What do you think?
I would say if you're not listening to the show, you don't get it. Because
Yes.
that's the point of listening to the show. That's like, why would you tell people to listen to the show if you're going to...
That's a good point.
Tell me
And it's a
anyway.
teaser. You want to hear
Exactly.
it? Listen to the show.
Yeah.
All right. So happy.
It's like when New Comic put their entire set on Facebook.
Right. Why
It's like-
then? Why go to the show?
Exactly.
That's brilliant.
I
You're
know.
brilliant.
I know. Yeah.
Did you know you were brilliant?
Yeah.
Why don't you? Tell them real quick before we go how well you did at the galley the other night. Wasn't that a great event?
That was a
For
lot
Laughter
of fun.
Saves Lives.
Yeah.
That was amazing. You
It
killed.
was.
You totally killed that room. Destroyed.
Thank you. Yeah.
The laughs were rolling in.
Yeah, it was a little organized chaos in the beginning, but we got it done.
Somehow that event always is amazing.
It is.
It always is amazing, and John does a great job. The whole staff does a great job. Everybody does a little piece. You know, Pat Marone cooked, Frank cooked, I cut the bread. Everybody had a job. Everybody had a job. But John's gonna come on in a couple weeks. He'll talk more about the gala
Yeah.
and the event, and Laughter Saves Lives in general.
Yeah.
So
let him-
we're wrapping up the show. So you want to say Happy Thanksgiving to anybody and
Happy Thanksgiving to only those listening right now. Everybody else.
and the organ donors.
Of course, the organ donors.
And the organ donors. And I just want to wish everybody happy Thanksgiving. Thanks again for tuning in. And we'll be back with an all-new episode next week. We're here Mondays at 9. And who should sign off the show? Which one of my celebrities do you think should sign off the show?
My favorite impression of yours. Can we get a Todd Bowles in here?
We sure can. This was a good show. I'll have to look at the film. It was good. Oh, wait, no, that wasn't Todd Bowles. That was Morgan Freeman. That's an occupational hazard of impressionist.
Yeah.
Todd Bowles. I haven't done him in a long time. How many years has he been gone? 2?
2.
Well, I thought it was a good show, and we'll have to look at the film. And, Jack did a great job at the gala. He was the opening act. He did well. The headliner did great. There's a few things we got to clean up in the middle, and I got to take a look at the film. But we gave up a lot of points due to missed assignments. that's what he would say, right? Is that Todd Bowles or is that Todd Bowles? I miss him. I loved him.
I know.
I love
great.
Todd Bowles. That
would be him. Of course, the Jets wouldn't win the Super Bowl, but even if they did, that would be his voice.
Well, we didn't win. I can't believe I was doing Morgan Freeman instead of Todd Bowles. That can happen to an impressionist. You start off in one voice and you morph into the wrong voice. It's happened. It's called, there's a scientific name for it. We'll talk about it next week. Anyway,
right.
thanks very much for tuning into the radio.